Welcome along to the first of a series of monthly educational webinars that we'll be running this year. And with the beginning of the year, I wanted to really go over some of the pending business challenges that we see coming into 2014, things that you should start thinking about, and also some of the technology trends that we think you also need to keep your eye on and that are going to be big this year, and that you need to start thinking about how you could use them in your business. So a little bit about me, if you don't know who I am, I'm the founder of Insane Technologies. I started Insane Technologies on January the 18th, 2000. As of Saturday, the business will be 14 years old. We're a specialist IT support firm who focuses particular attention on the accounting, legal and medical healthcare sectors. Our aim is not to only help our clients save money, but we also want to help them make money. And we do that by working really closely with the businesses, just like an in-house IT manager or IT person would. Give you a bit of an example of some of the businesses that we look after. We look after the Gold Coast GP Super Clinic in Oxenford, which is one of the two super clinics built on the Gold Coast with funding from the previous government. We also look after HW Litigation, Sapphire Accountants, Walsh & Walsh Accountants as well, as many other Gold Coast businesses. I've consulted for Australian national and international companies, including Benesi Corporation in Japan, Village Roadshow Studios Australia, and 20th Century Fox in the United States. And I've been a finalist for the Gold Coast Young Entrepreneur of the Year Awards in 2010, 2011, and 2012. So as we go throughout this presentation, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll attempt to answer the questions as we go. If you have any questions at the end, we'll also try to address those. So what we're going to cover today, the big thing I want to talk about is the Commonwealth Games, and the reason I want to draw your attention to this is it's only 4 years away. As a matter of fact, I ran into the IT company who has been awarded the contract for the Games and had a chat with them the other day, and it made me realise how close the Games are. And I also want to bring attention to this because many businesses will sign 3 or 5 year contracts regarding their phone systems and their printers and even their IT systems. And so between now and when the Games occur, I want to plant the seed of things that you might want to consider, which might change, the systems or technology that you invest in the future. So we want to think about what sort of impact will the Games have, what you should be starting to plan on now, and what technologies should you know about to help with this. I also want to talk about the cloud. It's here, it's staying, and I want to show you why you want to move to the cloud in 2014. I want to point out some quick and easy ways to make sure that you're cloud ready and sort of highlight the cloud services you should be using now. We're also going to touch on some of the technology trends that we see as being big for 2014 and also have a quick look at overseas outsourcing solutions and how you can take advantage of these cheaper labour services for your business. As I said, the countdown is on. If you've been through Surfers Paradise or down to the Coolangatta Airport, you will have seen one of these surfboards with the countdown on it. The Commonwealth Games is on April 4th to 15th, 2018, which means that it's just over 4 years away. If you go to the Commonwealth Games website, www.gc2018.com, you can have a look at where the Games are going to be held. And it's being spread out throughout the Gold Coast from Broadbeach to Southport, Robina, Oxenford, Labrador, all the way up to Brisbane as well, and as far north as Cairns and Townsville. So what does this mean for your business? Well, I was at a chamber breakfast where someone raised a point that the Games will result in additional traffic congestion and that you should start planning your business around the expectation for this congestion. And I've done a whole heap of research into the effect of traffic congestion for other games, both the Olympics and the Commonwealth. And to be honest, most of what I found indicated that we won't have a massive increase in traffic. More than likely, you're going to see a potential increase in traffic during peak times around the areas of the Games. To be honest, it's probably no worse than the congestion that we've experienced for the light rail But remember, it's only for 11 days. So we're talking 2 weeks that you need to consider there may be some impact for your business. So the sort of things I want to start you thinking about are, if you work in the areas of where the games are going to be, or if you have staff living in those sort of areas, what might be the impact of access to your workplace? And what might be the impact of parking around your workspace? Especially, we already know the Gold Coast parking situation it can be quite difficult at times. If you work in an area where the games are going to be, what sort of additional parking issues are your staff and clients going to have as a result? And you might also want to consider as well, staff who live near or have to travel through areas of the games may be impacted, especially, as I said, during those peak hours. So what you could do is start looking at, can non-essential staff work from home? And ultimately what I'm trying to see the idea for is that you're planning for the future. And this is not just about the games, but by investing in facilities that allow your staff to work from anywhere, you're providing your business with a business continuity option which may be beneficial in the event of major storms, cyclones, other natural disasters, and events that could otherwise impact your business operations. Just the other morning, I heard on the news that certain residents in Brisbane won't be allowed to leave their home as a result of the G20 summit. Now, what would be the impact to your business if we had something like the G20 on the Gold Coast, or another major cyclone, or your staff are flooded in? And if you start thinking about what sort of services, if you don't already have, what you need to implement, you can build in that business continuity, and we'll talk about that in a second. I want to give you a very quick brief history about IT. If you've seen this slide before, you understand what we're talking about is that the massive ramp up and adoption and sale of devices from the mainframe in the 1960s, where it was very rare that you saw this sort of device out there. And then we got into the PC revolution of the 1990s, and now we're in the mobile device era of 2010, 2020, sort of midway. And we're seeing such a massive increase in the sale and usage of these devices, and this is all leveraged on this cloud computing thing. And I've met with a few business owners who tell me they don't want to go to the cloud, it's not for them and all the rest of it. The reality is most of us are already using the cloud in some way or another. Whether you're using Google, Facebook, Hotmail, or even the ATM machine and your credit card machine, they're all leveraging some form of cloud technology. And the reason it's become such a big topic is because it's now available to the consumer. This technology has been around for a very long time. It wasn't called cloud before this, but it was mainly only available to the enterprise and corporate market. Now you can get it as a consumer. It's very accessible, very available, and very cost effective as well. Some of the reasons you want to start thinking about moving to the cloud are the fact that you don't have to worry about what sort of device you're using. It can be a PC, it can be a Mac, it can be an Android, it can be an iPhone, and the software available from sort of cloud services is usually available to any device. And what this does is it allows you to work from anywhere on any device. They have built-in disaster recovery and business continuity systems, so you no longer need to worry about backing up the system and what sort of failover do you have for it. And all of this results in you having lower IT support costs, which is good for business. One of the biggest benefits, of course, is this utility-based pricing model, which means you can sign up on a month-by-month, user-by-user sort of basis and up and down your needs as your business changes. One of the most important things that you need to be aware of to take advantage of the cloud is the internet. And over the last year, I've met with a number of business owners, practice managers, office managers who've told me these horror stories of either their business or businesses that they're involved with who were pushed to the cloud either by the IT provider or someone else, only to have it just be this absolute nightmare. And a lot of this is underpinned by the internet connection. The sort of high-speed internet services that are available to your office at the moment, obviously there's ADSL2. What you can do if you're looking at moving or buying, renting a new place, whether it be a commercial or a residential thing, jump online to www.adsl2exchanges.com.au and you can type in your address and it'll tell you roughly what sort of internet speed you should expect there. And what you really want to aim for is somewhere between 10 and 20 megabits as a download speed, remembering that ADSL2 has a much faster download speed than it has upload speed. And I can see a question there from Rachel. Rachel's asked, are the cloud services or remote services governed by your upload speed? Well, yes, they are. So if you're hosting in-house, say, a remote desktop server, and you have staff accessing remotely, and you have a really poor internet service that has a very slow upload speed, your upload speed will determine the download speed of the person at the other end. And so if you don't have a good connection, that will affect them and hinder the success of your solution. Now, say for example you have a situation like that where you need more upload speed, whether it is for video streaming, teleconferencing, audio, or just sending large files. You can look at mid-band Ethernet solutions which provide up to a 40 megabit download and upload speed. Bear in mind this works off the copper network, so there are certain limitations of where that's available and how far away you can be from the telephone exchange. And if that's not available to you or it's not fast enough, you can always go to fiber optic. And fiber optic has speeds up to 1 gigabit in both directions, but expect to be paying at least $1,500 per month as a starting price. And that doesn't give you 1 gigabit of speed. That's much lower than that. I also want to really stress that people start investing in backup internet services for redundancy. So whether that's an ADSL service from a different carrier or a 3G or 4G service, you can get now firewalls that have USB ports on them where you can plug in your Telstra 3G dongle. And so if your main internet connection falls over, it easily falls back to the 3G service and can keep you running. I've got a question from Sean who's asking, is Telstra the best for broadband services? Look, we do use Telstra. We really like On The Net as well. They're a fantastic Gold Coast-based business, very readily accessible for their technical staff. There's a couple of other communications providers we use as well. I would steer clear of the cheap providers. Ultimately, you get what you pay for. Bottom line, if your internet is bad, don't move to the cloud. I met with a business just the other day who are a prime candidate for cloud services based off what they're currently doing and what they need. But where they are, their internet service drops out all the time. It's really slow, and they're moving within the next 12 months, but we don't know where they're moving to. So I'm proposing for them a server because I know that'll be a rock-solid solution. It'll keep them running, and that's ultimately what you want for your business, is something you can rely on. Whilst we want to take advantage of all these wonderful new technologies, if it's going to hinder your business's ability to operate, then that's a bad idea. And what about this whole NBN thing? Well, since the new government came into power, the plans for the NBN have changed. Now, to give you a bit of information, under the Labor NBN policy, Telstra had expected to have disconnected between 10 and 15% of their copper network by now in replacement for fibre optics. Now, the Coalition has reviewed the NBN policy and they're now deciding to reuse existing infrastructure, particularly the copper network, for the last mile, that last part of the connection. Now, it's rumoured that as a result, Telstra hasn't really spent a lot on maintaining and upkeep of the copper network over the last 5 years. So there's a lot of businesses and homes out there that are currently plagued with really poor ADSL-based internet services. Now, the good news, of course, is that Telstra is going to get out there and they'll start repairing the copper network, but they're going to be playing catch-up. So if you're in an area that currently has poor internet, chances are that you're going to have poor internet for a while, but eventually we'll get there. So again, base your decisions on what's available to you now. Don't base it on what you think is going to be there in the future. So what sort of cloud services should you be interested in? Well, infrastructure as a service is a massive sort of thing. We talk about hosted servers and hosted desktops. We've got a couple of clients who are on a hosted desktop sort of situation. One of them has staff who operate all around Australia, and it didn't make sense for them to have a server in their Melbourne office anymore. So staff can now dial into this remote server, they can all access all their documents, and they can work in their database system, and that works beautifully for them. You also want to have a look at some of the software as a service offerings. Xero, MyApp, and QuickBooks all have their cloud offerings. There's things like Office 365 and Google Apps, and you're going to see most software vendors are going to start offering a software as a service model of their product. Now, there's a whole heap of reasons for why they want to go in this direction. It's good for you and it's good for them. I also want to draw your attention to hosted phone systems. Just like the days of the on-premise servicer numbers, so is the phone system. You're going to start to see a tendency for people to move their phone systems to some sort of cloud-hosted solution. And there's no need to have the equipment in-house. With this, you can then give a future employee a telephone extension, and they can run it from anywhere that they've got an internet service and still be part of your phone system. And, you know, a lot of this technology relies on VoIP and internet telephony. We're seeing a lot of people move to VoIP because of the perceived cost savings. And this is also having a really good effect for the telcos because they're having to get really competitive with their fixed line services. And you can now get some really good deals on PSTN and ISDN fixed line services with call caps and all that sort of thing. So shop around. VoIP might be great for your business and fixed line might be too. Make sure you're getting a really good deal. I also want to draw your attention to sort of cloud backup and disaster recovery solutions. There's all these sort of solutions now which allow you to take the human error and really automate your backup solution, have it back up to an offshore location, off-site location, and you know, it's very affordable and it's very comparative to the typical solutions that we're used to. Having a look at a couple of the technology trends that we're pretty excited about for 2014. I've been talking about these for a little while. The whole laptop tablet hybrid, which we saw sort of start last year. We're seeing more of it now. I'm really excited about, to be able to have a device that's like an iPad that converts into a full computer that I can work off and that I can come into the office and use as a full computer and then take to a meeting and still have access to all my data, but have that flexibility of the portable tablet style thing. On the screen I've got a photo of the Lenovo Yoga. The good people at Lenovo have actually lent us this device at the moment for us to have a little bit of a play with. It'll be in our office for the next couple of weeks. If you'd like to check it out, either give our office a call or you can drop in any time between 10 and 2 and my team will show you that and let you have a play with it and see if some sort of device like this might be a really good use for your business. Another one of the sort of hybrid tablet devices that we love in this office was the Microsoft Surface. Now, unfortunately, this device tanked last year in sales. It should have done a lot better. It is a phenomenal concept and a beautiful way of bringing together, having this convergence of your tablet and a full computer in one. The new Surface 2 came out. It's now got more storage, and you can get a docking station as well, which allows you to have your external monitor, keyboard and mouse all hooked up to it like you can do with a laptop. So you can bring the tablet in, dock it in the station, and you've got a full computer with full screen and everything else. Definitely worth checking out. We still have a lot of faith in the device, even if sales haven't been as good as they should have been. Another thing we're going to start seeing is a lot of this wearable technology. Google has got their Glass project, which is this glasses-like device which allows you to have a heads-up display, or at least a visual display, which can then link in with your mobile phone and other devices via Bluetooth and allow you to see the world and interact with technology at the same time. Samsung, of course, released the Galaxy Gear, which is a watch that pairs up with their Samsung Galaxy Note tablet and phone series. I think we're going to see a lot more wristwatch-style computers. And we're also starting to see a trend for these wearable fitness devices that allow you to track your calories burned, what you've eaten, how much you've run, cadence, all those sort of things, and then sync up with a software application on your phone. We actually featured one of the Fitbit devices in our January newsletter. I've got the Fitbit Force and Flex on the screen. You know, they are really cool devices, but watch out. I just saw in the news yesterday that there's a number of people who are early adopters of these wristband-based technologies who are ending up with rashes as a byproduct. You know, remember this is early days for this sort of tech. We do expect to see some sort of problems. They'll fix it, and you know, it's going to be some really cool stuff. Also want to talk to you about mobile-friendly websites and applications. So statistically, now over 20% of web usage is coming from mobile devices, and that's for 2013, which is over 10% that was occurring in 2012. So what that really means is 1/5 of all access of websites is being done from mobile devices. And so your website really needs to be mobile-friendly now, and if it's not mobile-friendly, you really want to get it there very quickly, because if you've got potential clients, customers, prospects coming to your website and your website's not looking good on their mobile device, they're going to go elsewhere. Now, if you want to test if your mobile device friendly, just pick up your iPhone, your Android, whatever, open up the browser and visit your website. And if it doesn't look really accessible, slimmed down, menus aren't all over the place, then you need to consider doing a redesign. And there's some cool things that can be done with the mobile websites as well, where you can have the phone number listed, and if they press the phone number on the screen, it opens up the dial page, and all that sort of thing. And that's what you want to be getting, and not missing out on some of the sales opportunities as a byproduct. You're also going to see a greater demand for mobile applications, specifically the mobile applications that connect to your business software. And I think you find a lot of businesses will phase out software that doesn't have some form of mobile access for software that does, which is understandable. I mean, we want to have access to that data all the time, and if I can look at my calendar, look at my tasks, sync it up with all the sort of data in my team from my mobile phone or my tablet, wherever I am, it's going to allow me to be more productive and more connected to my business and my customers. The last thing, of course, we wanted to talk about was overseas outsourcing services. I want to plant the seed here. I'm not suggesting that you take your entire team and offshore them. What I'm just trying to suggest to you is that you should be looking at your business, and any really repetitive, working with data that you wouldn't be worried if it got out into the public. Those sort of tasks. You should start be thinking, can we use an overseas outsourcing service to facilitate that? I'm very much against getting someone outside of my own office, let alone the country, to be working on my customers' confidential information or their servers. I do know some IT companies that are using overseas workers to do the back-end technical work, and for the time being, my view of that is I'm against it, but each to their own. Some of the services that you might want to look at for some one-off projects might be Odesk, Freelancer, or Microlancer. I use Freelancer quite often, and I use that for little things like building lists or writing a little bit of code or something. With the one-off project services, you want to be really specific in the process or workflow that you want done. That way you can guarantee that the outcome you get is exactly as desired. You might also look at some of the offshore contracting and project management service companies. These are companies you go to, and they will project manage the offshore team for you, and you liaise with a local project manager. I know a number of accountancy firms who are using this sort of facility to have aspects of their work processed overseas, and you could also look at going to the extreme and setting up an office in another country. One of our clients did that about 5 years ago. They've got an office in Malaysia where the administration and back-end work gets done, and they've also got a manufacturing plant in China, and that works really well for them. Obviously there's some conditions in getting all of that running and all the rest of it. So how can we assist you if you're thinking about going to the cloud? We're always happy to do a cloud readiness assessment on you, where we're going to come in and actually look at what your business does, what you need, work out what your internet capabilities are like, and actually make sure the cloud's right for you rather than just pushing you there. and if it is, we'll help you find certain paths that might be suitable. If you've got any questions and you'd like to connect with me, you can do so via the email address or telephone number on the screen. If there's no further questions, thank you very much. Have a wonderful and successful 2014.